Hey team, how are you? And welcome to the Experience with Rehman Cee, where we talk to real people about real stories on real life. And I have Nada here from Dubai, and we're going to bring her in and have a conversation with her. Nada, how are you?
How are you, Rehman? I was everything. I'm happy to be with you today and share my experience with the whole people and around everyone in the world.
I'm absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. So let's get into the show. You are from Dubai, or are you from somewhere else? Because
No,
everybody
basically,
from somewhere else.
basically, I'm from Egypt,
Okay,
from Alexandria.
okay.
Yeah, and I came to UAE like 15 years ago. So I've been here and raising my kids here, and it's my second country.
Excellent. So you've been there for 15 years. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about Alexandria. I've heard good stories in history about Alexandria. What's your perspective as a local?
Alexandria is such a beautiful place because it has the sea, and we're born near to the sea, so we enjoy it so much. The weather is amazing, and it's really in the center, so it's very close to Cairo, and it's my home country, and there is a lot of Kite Bay. Fort and Biblioteca Alexandrina and a lot of so many historical places. And what is amazing about Alexandria is the fish. If anyone wants to have a delicious fish, they need to go to Alexandria.
Wow, I have not heard that. So
The best,
that's
the
exciting.
best food, and you can find because it's so natural and everything is really delicious there.
Excellent. I think I'm going to have to go there just for the fish.
You have to.
So let's get into the show. My question to you is, what's your message to the world, Nada?
My message to the world is to have empathy, to understand all and every perception of people around us. When I learned NLP, it has tremendously affected my life in a positive way. And I decided to frame everything into coaching. Coaching is a uh, very noble profession, and that's why I went into coaching. I was really into helping people since very long time, like telling stories, helping people. But when I learned coaching, I felt this is the right certification that I need to get in order to inspire people. So if you have the chance to inspire people in any way, in your profession, you need to do that. So empathy, helping others, and finding your legacy and purpose in life. Because when we speak about legacy, it's not what you do, it's what you are expert in and how you put this into the profession or anything that you do in life. If you have passion, if you have purpose, and you put it into any profession, you will do wonders.
Awesome.
So that's what I did.
Okay, so talk to me about this journey of discovering empathy to be your philosophy. What has your journey been?
It started when I lost my mother with colon cancer 8 years ago. And by the way, yesterday or before yesterday was her memory, the eighth memory. I started to find something what is called legacy. I started to understand the importance of gratitude and how much the body and functioning of the body is so important, and we need to be grateful for that. So when I found her suffering from cancer, colon, and she had this kind of colostomy, the colostomy bag, something that they additionally put in her stomach to survive. It was so hard. But what I learned from this is how much important our body is and how much we need to be grateful for our body, for our health, and understanding gratitude. And even what I learned from her and her journey is her patience, is her survival and loving life and praying for God till the end of her last day and last minute. So at this stage, I realized what I'm doing in my life. Is it only a profession that I'm doing? I love my job as always. I've been starting working since I was 17 years old, by the way. Since I graduated from school, I just started working. So I've been a career woman. I love career, and my one of my main achievements. But I wanted to add to this as well something that I do for the community, something that I do for people around me to remember me. because again, the career is something that you do. But when you leave the company, people will remember you. But it's so different when you inspire others with something, or you help others shaping their life or improving their lives. So this is what I wanted to do. In beside to my career, I give my career 100% of my time as it owes, but again, I do something as well that it could be said like what can help me in my legacy.
Right.
So that's why, I decided to do something for helping, inspiring others' lives, helping finding their potentials. So I mix something with NLP is more working on yourself, on your NLP, on your mindset, on your thoughts, on your feelings. How can this relate to the profession I'm doing? Is business excellence. I'm an excellence expert in as profession, and I believe so much that excellence needs to be walk the talk. You cannot say I'm excellent unless you really work on yourself. So that's why I mixed NLP with business excellence as an experience or expertise. So that's why I inspired this, NLP and working on yourself. Besides to be an excellent person, to be an excellent organization, and that's my message to the world actually.
Right. I'm sorry for the loss of your mother, and obviously it must have been a very difficult experience for you.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. Talk to me about being born in Alexandria. Talk to me about your parents. Talk to me about their parenting style, what their expectations were, what their personalities were.
Yeah, it's good that I remember this. I was crafting a message yesterday, what I learned from my mother, and Alhamdulillah, my father is still alive. But what I learned from my mother actually is discipline with love. She was very strict in her own way, but very loving, So this is basically, and achievement. Since we were born, I was going to the German school of Alexandria, and I was in a multilingual, and I was raised in a Christian school. However, we were very tolerating to each other. So learning German, being with the German community, Egyptian community, and nuns as well as a Christian community, how this mix has shaped my personality now. It has shaped it in a very, very good way, because I learned how to tolerate and accept all religions and all ethnicities since a very young age. We were sometimes visiting the church. We were mixing Christians and Muslims together, so it was a great environment and very loving as well. We didn't ever look at people in their ethnicities. We accepted everyone, and we were very good in harmony together. So that's why I learned about my school, and this is what was the decision of my mother to put me in such an environment, and I really owe her a lot for this, alhamdulillah, that I have been raised in such, and I have never, skipped my values and my beliefs as well. So it's how you need to keep your values wherever you are, and it doesn't contradict with any other, religions or anything like that. It's just about acceptance and empathy. This is what I've learned in a very, since a very young age. This is what also my father has taught me, is the acceptance, the tolerance, and forgiveness. They were very peaceful parents, alhamdulillah, but dignity and character and charismatic. They had their own way of being very charismatic as well. So I grabbed a lot of their values, and it helped me a lot in accepting even here all the nationalities in Dubai. So I have so many friends from so many nationalities, and we can very much cope together.
Yeah. So you're the only child?
No, I have one sister and two twins.
Okay. The two twins or
Brothers.
one
No,
set of
I mean
twins?
a twin brother. They are 28 now, and they
Okay.
are my brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are the eldest, and then you have a sister, and then two twin brothers.
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
cool. So, talk to me about your grandparents as well. How is the family life? How was the family structure in Alexandria? is it where you live with your grandparents as well, or was it like more just your mum and dad and your siblings?
I haven't had the chance to live with them too much because they passed away. However, as I always have heard, they are so much, loving to all of the neighbors. And in Alexandria, Egypt, we have a great hospitality sense. So we live together so much, and we are open to neighbors, and it's a very good and welcoming atmosphere and environment. They were also, what I've always heard, that they are very loved. They are so much tolerated from all other people, and they had a very, community as well, roles. They played a big role in the community and even in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So maybe this is something genetic that I had, the love of serving the community. I was raised to see my mother doing that, and also my grandparents.
And so, how how what was the personality of your father? What was he like?
The personality is, he's a very charismatic person, and he had 25 years of banking experience. He was the general manager, and he was very loyal person, as a strict and loyal, and very, sharp in all his actions and all his decisions. So this is what I really learned from him as well: love for your profession, the love for the career, and being, giving it to the end, to the very end of your, profession. He is now 70 something, but all his life he spent it in a very, loving to his profession, and loving his, uh, having good relationships. This is also very important. It's all about relationship. It's not about the profession. Some many people, as you know, they leave the place, but they say Alhamdulillah they left. And others, when they leave the place, they leave their mark because they were good, having good relationships. So what matters the most is the relationships with others, how you communicate much better than just being, bossy, or being like, this is me. Or so this is what I learned also: acceptance and tolerating people around us, and having good relationships with them.
Yeah. So, you're the eldest child, so you must be responsible, right?
Yeah, so much.
So talk to me about growing up. How was it to grow up, and what were your parents' expectations of you?
I was really, the caring sister that I took maybe my brothers all the time to the football, because they are very good football players in Alexandria. So I was driving them to the club, and I was also studying with them when they needed me in the studies. I was taking care of my sister until now. I feel like I'm her mother. I'm not her sister, I'm still, like acting like I'm her real mother, because I feel like they are, I raised them so much, and I love and I care for them all the time.
Right.
So, yeah, yani, the expectation is to take care and to keep secrets of your, when they need someone to hear. This is the message of my mother. Even when she passed away, she left, we have something in Islam to write something. Before you leave, and before you pass away, you have to write something like the advice or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So she left something in writing on what she is expecting from all of us. One of them is the prayers, is to keep praying and to keep being good to each other and connected to your brother and your siblings. So this is one of the main messages that she left to all of us: is to keep connected, whatever happens. Is to keep, in a good relationship with your siblings, and taking care of each other. This is one of the main messages that she left.
So what has your journey been at, let's say, 4 years old, 14, 24? How has your journey evolved?
In the early stage, let's say the teenager, it was, I was working since 17 years old. In a German school in Alexandria, because people don't know more about it, it is very different environment. We learn German, but we have also other languages. We learn almost 4 languages at a time. So we're so much equipped to be good in the environment of career, you know. So we have been, for example, taught translation, interpreting. We've taught how to accounting, business economics, everything. Like we are so much ready for the business life. So whenever I've graduated, I was insisting to work. So I worked in an Arab Petroleum Pipelines Company Summit. It's a pipelines petroleum company, and since I was 17 years old. So can you imagine, Yani, my journey started very early in the career world. I've learned a lot. I've been the person who I am today because I've been into a lot of challenges about understanding the corporate structure, understanding people more, behaving in the professional way. So this has built with me throughout the years. I've worked in almost like 6 companies until now, from Egypt to Biblioteca Alexandrina to other governmental entities in Abu Dhabi, and then I moved to Dubai, and I'm working in the government as well now.
Right. So, what other languages do you know?
French, Arabic, German, and English.
Okay, cool. That's pretty much. You only have probably Spanish and Russian and Chinese and Japanese left to do, I think, maybe.
Uh,
So, you are fluent in all those languages?
yeah, German, English, Arabic, I'm very fluent. French is little bit less fluent. However, we have studied all this, as I said, in the school. At
Okay.
school, I've learned it in gradual. So this is the multilingual environment has helped me a lot in even communicating better with so many nationalities since a young age.
Well, so what's the German influence on Alexandria or Egypt? Why is there a German school in Alexandria?
Because it was very well reputable, very long time back it was established, and it has so many generations have been graduated from the German school. It was cascaded into even Hurghada. It was cascaded into Egypt and Cairo, so many German schools, because what is different about it is when you learn a language since long time, since a very young age, you grab this language, but then you can add English, you can add French to it. So German is very hard. It's not an easy language. It's not an easy language. So when we started by everything in German, we grabbed it since a young age. Then they introduced the English and the French. Uh, Arabic is, as you know, it's since day one. So this was a very unique mechanism of teaching children different languages throughout their 13 years in the school.
Okay.
So that's why it's very unique. So when people found that this is a very unique system, they started to build up so many German and there is a good relationship between Germany and Egypt when it comes to education and this the German schooling. Yeah.
Okay. So, so how has your journey progressed? So you obviously got a career at 17. What about non-career life? How has that developed over time?
I was so much focused on my children in a very young age. I mean, I almost didn't, yani, some of the years I dedicated my time to my elder children, elder
Yeah.
child. I have
You
two
have to get
children.
married first before you have children.
Yeah, sure.
So talk to
I
me
got
about,
married at 23,
okay.
23. Yeah, and then I got Mariam, my elder sibling. Sorry, my elder daughter. And then
What's the way you get married in your culture?
uh you know, as Arabic culture always like they propose to the family, and then we accept, and then we do weddings, and then yani it's always like I'm not sure about other cultures, but I believe that this is the usual culture, right? It's proposing and then getting married. It should be, but in Islam, even you need to accept the person that you're married to. So this is a very important thing in Egypt as well. No one now get married without accepting the person and seeing them and making sure that they are the right person for them.
Okay, so dating doesn't happen.
Dating in the right context, for the right, connection, or for the right relationship. It's not prohibited if it's done in the right context, as I said. It's
Okay.
for proposing to someone, to get married and so on.
So, so you got married at 23, and then you had your first child at what age?
After 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, almost
So you're married, you have your children. How many kids do you have?
2 kids.
Okay. So like they're two girls, two
Yeah,
boys.
2 girls. Two
Okay,
girls.
cool.
Yeah.
So how has your journey evolved from 23 to now?
It is amazing, actually. I believe every challenge or every hardship I have been through at my career, being this kind of work-life balance and making sure that you need to balance, between work and personal life. This was the hard way, especially being in Dubai. And I decided I don't want to have like someone to help me all the time, full time, but it was part time. So I was taking care of the kids and, making my own ways to handle this all with the support of my husband and friends and so on. um, but it's again, yani, I've learned it is how much you need to be faithful in your journey and keep going, because many people, when they stop at one stage, they don't keep going, and this is what is really hard and keeps them frustrated. So another message for me is to keep going, although you face a lot of challenges. Keep going and don't ever lose faith.
Yeah. So what have your challenges been? What have your difficulties been? What have your traumas been through childhood up to now?
uh, it's more of, as I told you, this kind of multicultural and keeping your own beliefs and values towards other either nationalities or either countries, because everyone has his own tradition and culture. So how you need to cope with this and understand that um, everyone has his own differences, but this is what makes humanity. If no one is different and if people are all alike, it wouldn't be something that we would ever enjoy. And this is the uniqueness of every person has his own unique map. This comes to me about understanding more of personalities, because not every personality you can understand easily. So this is why I learned NLP, and this what brought me to the journey of from being a normal mother and professional and career oriented to understanding more about the personalities and the persons. I learned something very special I want to also share. The map is not a territory, which means everyone has his own map, everyone has his own program, everyone has his own, uniqueness, and you need to accept people as their own maps. It's not the reality, but it is according to their maps. So having this realization, it helped me a lot about my work. It helped me a lot to connect with all my friends more, because I started not to judge. When you start to judge too much, you will feel like no one is connecting with you. But when you start to accept the differences and people and their unique maps, you would really get into a much more deeper relationship with others.
Right. So can you explain that one more time? You're saying everybody has differences and you just accept their differences. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, everyone has his own map. Map
Right.
means how he was raised at school, how he was raised with his parents, how he was raised at college, and how he was raised in the home environment. So this all the programs, all this kind of style that he was raised is what shapes his map. The map is the mind. His mind is different than other one. Is this map an absolute reality? No. So what NLP teaches us is to accept, you accept the personality or the person, but you might not be agreeing with the behavior. So you accept the person as he is. You might not be good with his behavior, but it taught me a lot about tolerance, tolerating other people and not judging them because this is their own map. They're speaking about this topic out of their maps. You know what I mean? So they are speaking from out of their experience, out of their mentality, out of their belief. But it doesn't mean that they are absolutely right, because everyone has another map that they might want to be saying or speaking about.
Right. So you went to Dubai with your work. That or did you follow your husband to Dubai? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I've lost you for a little bit. Can you hear me?
Going out.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Nada?
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So I was saying to you that you went to Dubai. Did you go because your husband had a job there, or you went because you wanted to go?
Yeah, now I can hear you, but it just disconnects sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, the connection's gone bad.
No, it's my husband got a job and we went together, to Dubai, to first Abu Dhabi. I lived there almost 9 years, and then I moved to Dubai.
Okay. All
Now
right.
I
So
can hear your voice.
yeah,
Can you
that's
hear?
good. Yeah, I can hear you. Hopefully the connection gets better. It's gone a little bit bad in terms of the bandwidth, but we'll keep talking and see how it works out. So
Yeah.
so you went to you so now you have your kids. You're still married, and how is life in Dubai?
Rehman, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you
Oh,
hear
but
me?
it's coming a little bit late. Yeah, it's coming late, the voice.
Yeah, it's going to be a lag. There's a delay, so we just slow down a little bit. That's fine. Um, did you hear my question regarding where you are right now?
Okay. No, can you tell again the question, please?
Yeah, no, I was asking you where you are right now. Like, are you still married? You still have kids? How old are your kids, and what are you doing now as far as Dubai is concerned?
Yeah, I'm still married and I have my kids. They're 12 and 8, 12 and a half and 8 and a half almost.
Okay.
I am keeping my profession and I'm very passionate about what I'm doing as business excellence expert. And I really do a lot for the coaching as well. And it's part of my, belief system and thoughts and helping others to whoever wants really my help into being much better and finding their own purpose and potential. Because if we don't find our potentials, if we don't find our purpose, then why are we living? You know. So this kind of realization, I'm very happy if someone really said like, I know now my purpose or I know what I need to do next. Um, So because I witnessed also this kind of transformation from being shopping, and shopping so much, and doing nothing in your life, versus having a purpose, or
Yeah.
versus having something determined or a goal. So at first I didn't have this kind of goal. I was really into shopping and going to work and coming back, and that's it. But when I found out the purpose or the goal, or something that is really, even I wanted to leave this legacy to my kids. Yani my kids now, if you ask them, they want to be coaches as me. So they get really inspired. But what I'm doing, I'm taking them in many workshops. I took them in many workshops. So I want them to learn throughout my journey as well, something for them to last with them when they get older.
Yeah. Talk to me about like your experience with Abu Dhabi and Dubai and transitioning from Egypt to there. How has that been? How has your experiences in these two countries been? And how is it different to Egypt?
Transitioning was easy because, again, it's an Arab country, so it wasn't that hard for me. And the connection between Egypt and UAE has been very long time back. So they visit us and we do visit them. So it's been a great connection. And it wasn't really hard. The thing is, it's more in Dubai specifically. So many nationalities live in Dubai, and that's why I got to connect with many, from India, from Pakistan, from even Europe, from Canada. So I have so many friends interconnected over the world. uh, that's where I have, because Dubai is so multinational as well, and Abu Dhabi as well. So this is how I got to know many friends,
Yeah.
and even the exposure into getting to know many people, and having these people with you at work, because in Egypt you can do that as well. You can have online, and connecting, and now so many people are traveling and connecting online and so on. But having them with you at work, this is what was different. So the structure and the corporate structure itself is so different than Egypt, I believe.
Yeah. But culturally, like the Arabs in the Emirates, are they similar or different to the Egyptians?
We share many values together, but I believe every country has their own unique way, and they it's built out of history, out of traditions. Traditions are somehow different from one Arab country to another. The dialect even is a little bit different. But again, I believe we have so many common ground. We connect in many ways. The Arabs across all Arab countries.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to me about so you feel you've not had any challenges, no difficulties.
No, I absolutely had. My One of my main difficulties is accepting myself as a working mother and a mother, as a working someone who's working all the time, and finding this balance. You know, for example, I remember I had to finish work, and then I have to drop my daughter, being dropped in a nursery, and then I have to go back and get her. And it was a really hard time for me, especially when they were younger. Another thing is, now in Corona, having home learning and working, it is overwhelming for mothers to keep both, and they need to work very hard in order not to lose the balance. So these kind of challenges is, beside accepting the differences between the nationalities and the cultures, and coping with them across my whole 15 years of experience. It was one of the good challenges that I have learned a lot about it,
Yeah.
especially when I got coaching and I dig deeper in the human behavior, and the inner going into people's beliefs and thoughts and how they look at the world as well.
Yeah. So, so do you work for somebody or you work for yourself now?
No, I work in a government. I work with the government. Yes, I work in Abu Dhabi with the
Okay.
government
Okay. So
as
you're
business
employed.
excellence expert. Yes, I'm employed. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So talk to me about who you are. What is your identity right now? Who is Nada?
Uh, Nada is someone who believes in excellence so much, but also believes that excellence comes from within. And if you really pursue excellence, you can be an excellent person serving the community, being a mother, being a good wife, being a good sister. In many ways, you can be excellent, which will lead you to be an excellent person in the organization. Because I always say the business excellence is not what you say, is what you do, and people who are excellent shape an excellent organization. So this is actually my core belief is having both together, working on your areas of improvement all the time, working on achieving many goals is what really creates your identity.
Why is excellence so important?
Because we brought to life for a reason. We're not brought to life to be all the same. Everyone has his uniqueness, and how unique you need to be in order to serve and put your legacy is what people need to think about.
Why does one need to have a legacy?
Because simply you cannot like live like that and do nothing except you find something that you really inspire people around you in the community. Help others because we are brought to support each other. We're not brought here to be alone. So find any way to help. It's not like coaching only. If you find your profession is helping others in any way, so this is your legacy.
Right.
But
So
choose to,
you
choose to do something that people will remember you as a person and a human rather than just someone who's simply existed.
right. So you believe excellence. You're using the word excellence, but it's about finding your purpose. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is your purpose?
My purpose is to leave legacy as a human being first, who supported many people around. Uh, First of all, my daughters. I want them to be inspired in the way that I choose to be inspiring them, which is don't live alone, don't live for your own self, live for you and for others as well.
Right.
So this is what my purpose is to inspire my family first, to support them as much as I can, and cascade this as well to people around me. And adding value in every aspect I do. Adding value means if I'm giving A or if I'm giving B, I jump to A in all what I do. Given that I'm not criticizing myself too much, because the self-talk and being hard on yourself is very damaging on the long run.
Yeah.
I'm not being hard, but I choose to be enjoying what I'm doing,
Yeah. So
enjoying adding value, enjoying giving back, enjoying um, raising my kids in the way that I want to be raised, enjoying that they remember me in my own way, because every mother has her own way.
yeah. So motherhood in your culture is very important.
Yes.
Um, and so you're also trying to pursue a career and motherhood at the same time. A lot of women in the Egyptian culture, in the Muslim culture, they choose or want to be mothers. What makes you different? Why do you feel it's important for you to also pursue a career as well as being a mother?
For me, a woman, she needs to find her purpose in life. Uh, for me, for Nada, uh, she needs to have her own identity. She needs to have her own personality. And giving back in her own way is, the woman is not only someone who cleans the house. I'm talking about the extremists. Is not someone who just, doing nothing uh, and sometimes getting fat or something, like she just ignores herself, ignores her own health. For me, this is very important, that I take care of my health, I take care of my family, and as well serve the community in the way that God has given me skills, or whatever I have as skills, as health and so on, and to serve everyone around.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that that is your identity. It's something that drives you. It's something that it's the way you want to express who you are.
Yes.
Okay. Where does that come from? Is that come from your parents, or just that that's unique to you?
No, it's from my parents, because they always pushed me so much to do more and more, and something valuable, And it is from my school as well. From my school, we were learning how to give your best, without being hard on yourself, because this is a very important part. Don't push yourself so the extent you hate yourself because you are pushed, you have to push yourself, but enjoying the journey as well.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's go deep. Let's go into the meaning of life. You talked about purpose. You are from a Muslim background. Um, what is the meaning of life?
um I'm not, if we're speaking about Islam, is um to follow your religion, first of all, to follow what has been said to you, because when you think about it, everything that was written in any religion, it was before, for the sake of humanity. It's nothing against us. So this is one thing. Following your the principles of Islam, because you're not just being, it's all starts with the heart. It's not only about being named as any religion, being religious in just a name. Just starting with the heart. What has Islam, or what other religion is speaking about, is about the heart, and besides the prayers and everything, so this is one thing. Another thing, as I said, like finding your own purpose, finding your own message, digging deeper on what are your strengths and qualities that you can help yourself, your family, and others around you. Um, Adding value is so important for me. In any place I go, I would love to add value. Alhamdulillah, and wherever I have left any job or something, or any, people would really specifically speak about this kind of value, and giving meaning to what you do. By the
Yeah,
way, I've raised an anti-bullying campaign towards the kids, because empowerment, I believe so much in empowerment and parenting, the conscious parenting. I so much believe in it. So it starts from the parents as being empowered towards the kids in being empowered as well, have their voice, and being because I saw so many stories about bullying in very young age, which is affecting adults now. So I've raised a very popular anti-bullying campaign, and I work a lot about empowerment, about excellence. So for women, as parents, I mean, as parents, women or men, I mean empowerment, and then it will start to the kids, because if the parents are not empowered, the kids will not be empowered. This is what I really believe.
yeah,
So it needs to start with the parents first, to empowering parents, to empowering adults, which will in turn empower kids for the whole generation.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a little bit more philosophical. So you are a Muslim. What is Islam?
Islam is a great religion that has a lot of tolerance and has a lot of loving to other people around. It is so much speaking, as I said, about the heart. Being a Muslim means you accept the five principles of Islam, and then you give back to dealing with all people around you in a very good heart, in a very good tolerating way.
What are the five
Uh,
principles?
Prayers. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. It's like you say the Islamic, popular shahada. It's called. Ita is zakah, like you pay for the poor. Sawm Ramadan, the Ramadan fasting, and making Hajj. So these are the five principles, and if we believe in them and if we do with them with good heart, I believe everyone can be a good Muslim.
So you were born into a Muslim family.
Yes.
How do you know it's the truth if you're born into something?
What do you mean by that?
If you're born into something,
Mm.
there's a difference between culture and truth, right? So
Yeah.
if you're born into something, you can accept it as culture, but how do you
Okay.
know it's the truth? Do you,
It comes to the belief that the way you were raised, your family, and digging deeper, reading more about your culture, your religion. It shapes your identity as well. So
like you believe that God exists, right? You mentioned
yes,
God many times. How do you know God exists?
it is from all what is happening around us, all this kind of great power around us, and this huge, energy that we have. So we believe totally in God, that He exists. But this is something, yani, it's something that we are going very deeper into how we were formed and everything. So this is something, yeah, very deep. I know.
Right, right. And this, I'm a very deep guy. So, so I like to talk about these points and try and understand how people think through
Yeah.
their points of view. And so have you ever doubted or questioned your own beliefs?
No, never. I believe totally in what I'm doing, how I was raised as a Muslim, and I totally believe in that. And I even cascade it to my kids.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of the West has a bad impression of Islam.
Hmm.
You follow Islam and you believe it and you accept it to be something good. Where is this contradiction? Why is there a contradiction between perceptions in the West and the reality of your beliefs?
It is what is happening. As we know, this kind of those people who are terrorists, they gave a very bad image about Islam. But Islam is much, 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 much bigger and much deeper than any people that just claim that they are Muslims. So again, it's so much. It's a very holy and very great religion. Prophet Muhammad always preached us to be very, very good and very dealing with others, accepting others, tolerating them. There is a very famous one. It's called "Lakum dinukum waliya din," which means I have my own religion and you have your own religion. So this kind of acceptance that we were raised, and even forgiveness. So many incidents going back to Islam, how Prophet Muhammad has already encouraged people to forgive. So this is what came, and I really encourage everyone to read more about Islam if they really want to know the truth. Um, So reading more and knowing more, getting deeper and understanding the Quran. When we speak about Islam, is Quran and then Prophet Muhammad. So reading more about the Quran and how it was really, what kind of messages it was giving to humanity, they will know much more about Islam.
Are Muslims tolerant?
Yes. This is what we were preached about. This is what we were. This is what was written in the Quran. This is what Prophet Muhammad told us. And so many, we look at both things about Prophet Muhammad as hadith. Hadith means what he was saying, his sayings, and about the Quran. So first we start with the Quran because this is what us as Muslims follow, and then Prophet Muhammad, we listen to what he was said about him as well.
Yeah. So do you believe that Islam is the only way? Is it an absolute truth that the only way to salvation is through Islam?
As I said, Prophet Muhammad, and even in Quran, lakum dinukum waliya din, which means we do accept other religions so much. But again, we follow our religion, but even Prophet Muhammad, he said, like, accepting others, accepting all other nationalities or accepting all other religions is something written in the Quran and something that always.
But I'm talking ideologically in the belief system. If you're not a Muslim, is there a pathway to heaven if you're not a Muslim?
This is something I can never speak about now because this is in the hands of God.
But what does the belief say?
No, it's a judgment part. Everyone is different, and everyone, we believe so much that this is even us as Muslims. Not everyone will go to heaven, right? So it depends on how people need to be seeing, focusing on themselves, focusing on their journey, and working so hard on themselves until, alhamdulillah, God chooses any one of us.
Right. But I'm trying to understand the belief system. So if you're not a Muslim, is there a pathway to heaven for you outside Islam?
I cannot speak about that, Rehman, because this is I cannot tell you anything about that now, because it's my only part that I can say is something that is really in the hands of God.
Right, but it's a belief system, it's an ideology. If you don't follow Islam, what does the Quran say about that? Does it say that you're allowed, there's a pathway to heaven? Or is it that only if you are a Muslim, then there's a pathway? Because that's what I'm trying to understand.
And specifically, again, there is, many sayings about that. But what we believe in is neither me nor anyone can say anything about that. Even if preachers or someone like sheikhs speak about that, but this is something very myself, I cannot as Nada speak about that because it's very, you can never imagine what is happening after that and how people are being how God will deal with people.
Right. But what I'm saying is, when you say God, how God will deal with people, you're saying that there is an option outside Islam. So we've made an assumption. First of all, when you die, what happens? What happens after death in Islam? What happens when you die?
You go to yani Sirat al-Mustaqim. Sirat al-Mustaqim is you're being judged by what you have done at life from the God, from Allah. And then you after that, it is decided from Allah, inshallah, whether you go to heaven or you are being questioned, um, other than heaven.
Okay, so you're saying there is a concept of heaven and hell, right?
Yes, sure, sure.
Okay, so when you
Yeah, we
die,
believe.
there's heaven or hell. I'm
Yeah.
asking you, if you're not a Muslim, is there a pathway to heaven? Is there a possibility of going to heaven or not?
uh, there is always a possibility. How can we know that?
Right, but
It's
that's what I'm trying to say. But you're saying that within Islam, even if you're not a Muslim, there is a pathway to heaven.
within Islam. Again, we accept, because there is a lot of speeches about that, but we do accept all other religions in a very, very good way. And even we have Prophet Isa. We believe in Prophet in Maryam. We believe in so many prophets throughout the journey. So again, we do accept. We do, even Jewish. Israel. We do accept all ethnicities, as a religion. When we speak
Right,
about.
right. So what I'm trying to understand from you, because there are some faiths that believe that only if you're of that faith can you go to heaven.
Hmm,
You understand? And so I'm
yeah.
trying to qualify from you, I'm trying to understand from you whether if you're not a Muslim, you can go to heaven or not. And I'm
Hmm.
understanding from you, but you're not saying it directly. And I'm trying to get you to say it directly. But what you're saying is your belief is that there is pathways to paradise outside Islam.
It is all in the hands
Because
of God.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the point that you're making. You're saying that there's a pathway to heaven that it's not decided by the faith, it's decided by the higher power, God,
Yes,
Allah,
the higher
whatever.
power. And I always believe that how people are being judged, how people are being taken to heaven or hell, this is completely a higher, much higher power than we can speak about.
Right, right. But see, you when you're making this statement, because I come from I've lived in the West and I've grown up in the West. The mind thinks in a different way. We question. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't accept things just because. So sometimes when I ask these questions, maybe no one has asked these questions of you before, you see?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
you don't like, you've never thought about it. So but that's about belief and ideology. So when you are born into something, you're accepting something because it's culture and identity, but not necessarily you believe in the ideology. So when you're outside and you're not born in that faith, then the person who's looking at the faith is not looking at the culture or the identity, they're looking at the ideology. What does the
No,
ideology?
but I have researched again. It's not only accepting Islam. I choose to be in Islam as well. I choose to listen what Islam has said, and I believe so much. For me, Nada, that it is suiting me, and I believe too much in it. So it's, again, I read a lot about it, I heard a lot, and I choose to understand what does it mean exactly. So it's not only accepting as an identity, it's a choice as well. I know many people can choose to be otherwise. It is a choice. But for me, I have read a lot and I do believe in it.
Okay. So I have a few final questions. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Sometimes I like to be alone. Sometimes I like to go out and meet friends, but I'm more an extrovert than an introvert.
Okay. Are you an idealist or a realist?
What does it mean?
Idealist. Do you live in the future or do you live in the present? Are you an idealist or are you a realist? Do you dream or do you just accept the reality and say no, this is where I'll stay?
No, I'm a visionary person. So much of the future. I care so much about the future, and I look at myself in the future as well. So
Okay.
I'm more into a futuristic person. Yeah.
Okay. Are you emotional or rational?
I can say both. I am not extremely emotional, not extremely rational.
Okay.
I have a mix of both, but I learned how to control my emotions. I learned how to be aware and be more conscious about my thoughts and emotions. This is what I have learned a lot about the last, couple of years.
Okay. And are you hands-on practical or are you an intellectual?
Um, I believe intellectual more. I work so much on the mind, um, but practical in the sense of being at work as all the time. This is practicality as well. Being living where I'm living and coping with everything around me. So it's again being practical.
Okay.
So a mix of both.
And are you a risk taker or are you risk averse?
Risk taker.
Okay. Do you prefer
I love
certain?
I love so much to go out of my comfort zone. Whenever I have anything that I'm fearing, anything that I feel like I'm scared of, I go and do it. First of all, I was scared of public speaking, and I worked on myself so much about the comfort zone until I, alhamdulillah, mastered this part. So again, a risk taker in the sense of um, getting out of the comfort zone. I like to get out of my comfort zone.
Do you prefer certainty or uncertainty?
Certainty.
Okay. If you were an animal, what kind of animal would you describe yourself as?
Bird.
What kind of bird? Like, huh?
I take a lot of attention on birds.
But an ostrich or an eagle? Which bird?
Any kind of bird, I love them so much. I really they grab so much in my attention. Even my logo, when you see on my Instagram, you will see a bird in it.
So what are the qualities, top three qualities of a bird that you possess?
Freedom.
Uh-huh.
Uh, they have their own language. They speak like I like their speech, and I feel like they have wings. Having wings and doing whatever you do, and I like so much when they go together. This community when they go together and fly together. I love this so much. I love to look at this.
So what's the future look like for you? Talk to me about your future in 20 years from now. What does that look like?
I will be a grandparent, obviously, inshallah, 20 years from now, and continuing my journey of coaching, working as well. I love to work till the end of my life, actually, having a profession, because this is also giving me a lot of sense of, community. And when you work, being in a community, this would really put you in a much comfortable way, which I like, to be in a community and being working with people around and so on. So I believe I will continue my journey until, inshallah, I get so many opportunities to speak up and make many speeches and reach so many people around the world. It's not only to Dubai. This is the beauty of the connections and the internet. You know, now we're connecting with so many people around us, and that's why I'm so much open to this. I'm so much open to connecting with people around the world. This is what I really love.
Okay. How does your husband support you?
He's supporting me in many ways in taking care of the kids and supporting our values together as a family. Being very, uh, even supporting me in my coaching journey and my profession, putting me into this kind of leaving me to do what I want. This is very important in husbands. When you leave you want your life to be exactly like the way you want her, or you just give this opportunity for her to explore and support her in her own journey as well. So for me, this is very important as well.
A lot of Muslim women have a battle. Women born into Islam feel constricted, restricted. Uh, you're still following Islam, but you're pursuing a professional career as well. A lot of the women, they discard Islam and they don't believe in its values because it doesn't tolerate their aspirations as women. What do you say to those women?
Not at all. You can do whatever you do, and we can see a lot of hijabis even now climbing mountains, being in a very prestigious jobs. Um, Being a Muslim or a hijabi or whatever doesn't ever prevent you from doing what you want. Um, by the way, Islam has also honored so much the women in every aspect of Quran. The women is, privileged in Islam. So I want everyone to know more about Islam, to try to understand the purpose and the values that it gives. Um, being a Muslim doesn't ever prevent you from even connecting, from speaking to so many people around, and being your own identity and working as a professional job and being in a very esteemed. Even in Emiratis, you can see so many people, women now, in leadership positions. Whether ministries, and even in Egypt, we see so many ministries. Um, 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 they are ministers, they are in a very leadership positions and other positions as well, which doesn't prevent them at all from pursuing their dreams.
But some Muslim women believe the whole idea of having a hijab or having a head covering is a patriarchal system. It's a restriction. It's a way of men dominating or imposing their domination on women. What do you say to that?
Not at all. Um, it's all about also reading and knowing more, because people hear only, this is the point. We do hear, and people believe what they hear, but doesn't dig deeper in the meaning and pure value of what has been, said about women, and how Islam empowers women since very, very young age. Uh, uh, so, uh, so many aspects where women are very privileged in Islam, and this has, we can do another, a video about it, because it's a very long story in many incidents. But again, I want to tell them, read more and know more and understand more, so how this doesn't oppress you at all, doesn't give any a contradiction to who you are or who you want to be. And alhamdulillah, we have so many, leading roles who are hijabis or who are Muslims, that it doesn't prevent them from doing anything that they wanted to achieve.
Why is covering your head so important? Why is it necessary when you see in so many different societies that women are functioning normally without a headscarf or a covering? Why is it so important?
Again, this is something mentioned in Islam, and choosing to be a hijabi is again a choice. Like many people choose not to be hijabis, and it's fine. We're not judging here. We're not saying who is good or who is bad. But it's again something that was really empowered and privileged in Islam, especially covering your whole body, is not only your head. But covering is for us like an empowerment and protection. This is what is meant in Islam. Uh, um, Again, it's a choice. Many people, like, they don't want to be in hijabi anymore. But again, it remains that coverage is, for us as Muslim, is important.
Okay. So what my final question is, what does success mean to you?
Success means being happy. Happiness is what makes you successful. You wouldn't ever be achieving success if you're not happy. So being happy and being fulfilled, again, fulfillment, because you might be doing a job where you're not fulfilled. This is a very important thing. Fulfillment here means my energy, my happiness is all brought up. I'm able to do what I want. I'm not really being oppressed or something. So having this freedom of doing whatever you want and achieving many goals in your life, being happy and fulfilled is what I believe is success in any profession that you choose. Everyone has his own profession, everyone has his own sense of achievement, but most importantly, to feel fulfilled. This is, for me, being fulfilled is very important.
Awesome. So tell me, what's your final message, Nada?
Don't try to be someone else. Look at who you are. Look at what you give to this world. Look at why you have been created initially into this life. Why you have been brought to life, because you are meant to do something very big. So have empathy towards others, because everyone now is having hard time. Many people are having hard time. So stop judging and be tolerant to many people as much as you can.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have you had fun?
Yes, it was great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.